Alright, what's up guys? We have a brand new Master Duel ban list here. One thing about Master Duel that's pretty awesome is we get a ban list every single month. We know it's coming. We know they make changes very quickly. I love that about it. So yeah, we have a new ban list, and let's just do a quick overview of this. So banned cards, we have Kelbeck. Kelbeck is the last of the Millers. It was limited to 1. Now it's at 0. So the 2 Millers are both banned. They're completely gone. You cannot play any of the Chizu Millers whatsoever. It's kind of sad. Like at 1, I don't think the card is really doing all that much at 1. I don't think it was broken by any means. Obviously, it was broken during tier limit format, but tier limits haven't really been good in this past month, like in this past month at all. It's actually been almost laughably bad. Like tier limits just completely like fell off. It's just nobody plays it. Most people are on Pearly, and Pearly is absolutely ravaging the meta game right now because it makes a monster that's unaffected by everything. That's very difficult to deal with. Whereas tier limit just has a bunch of inconsistent pieces. I think this was a totally foolish hit. It's unnecessary. I don't know why this happened. Maybe one of you can explain it, but there's a little late. I don't know why that got hit. Number 89, this is the guy who banishes things face down. This is a good hit. He's very broken. When they release the rest of the Kashtira cards, this card is just very outrageous in combination with the Kashtira cards. So this means probably they're going to release a Rise Heart. We'll see if that happens. I mean, more than likely a Rise Heart's coming, but when Rise Heart hits, obviously Diabolus plus a Rise Heart is just a disaster. So completely understandable why this card's getting hit. No complaints here. Next, cards to be limited: Beaver, Nimble Beaver, and Havness. Now this is really foolish. Never in my life would I ever have thought that Nimble Beaver would be on a ban list anywhere on the planet. This is another sprite hit, and it's another way that they try to hit sprites by hitting random archetypes. And this is one of the things that I actually am not so fond of, that Master Duel likes to do a lot. They like to hit like random unaffiliated archetypes when they're trying to hit an archetype, which again is frustrating because the reality is you can play sprites with essentially any level 2. Any level 2. It doesn't matter what level 2 decks you play. It doesn't matter if it's Melfi. It doesn't matter if it's Tri-Brigade. It doesn't matter if it's the Live Twins. It doesn't matter as long as you have access to level 2 monsters. Nimble Beaver used to summon another copy of Nimble Beaver usually, or it can get Angler into the, you can put Angler out. I mean, it doesn't matter because it basically just summoned another level 2. Now you essentially can just do that by playing Deep Sea Diva. Normal summon Deep Sea Diva, summon another Deep Sea Diva. You don't have to play any bricks. It's not that big of a difference. Like, yeah, the Nimble package is obviously better because it has a bit more, like, I guess, resilience. But, I mean, this is such a marginally small hit that it almost doesn't matter. It's almost such a laughable hit. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's a very goofy hit. The thing they need to hit is the Link Monster, which is the sprite one that brings monsters back. I forget the name off the top of my head, but they need to hit that monster, not this. This is just foolish. Next is tier limit Havness. Again, as I've said above, tier limits have been totally irrelevant this month. Ever since they hit the level 2, this has been irrelevant. So now, ever since they hit Merly, tier limits have been almost entirely irrelevant. They are a super duper inconsistent deck. So now you hit Havness to 1. You have 1 Havness and 2 Sheeran. You have 3 main deck tier limit monsters. 3 main deck tier limit monsters in a tier limit deck. It's almost like unbelievable. Like they're just kicking the deck into the ground. Like I'm not like huge on the deck. I think it's a decently fun deck. I'm not huge on the deck. I don't have a lot of issues with it. In its prime, I thought it was a bit unfair, but it just hasn't been good this month. Why are they hitting this now? Like maybe because Kashtira, the Kashtira tier limit card is coming out. That card's like okay in the deck, but it's not worth hitting. I mean, this is just kind of outrageous. Kelbeck gone and having this at 1, that's bad. Now cards to be taken off the ban list. So Luster Pendulum's coming off the ban list. Totally reasonable, understandable. Should have came off the ban list a long time ago. It doesn't even make sense that it was on there. Pendulum is a good deck, but it's not. I don't think that there's a Pendulum variant that is in the top 10 of decks right now, so I think it's completely reasonable. Actually, you know what? They're probably, yeah, you could probably argue Pendulums could be a top 10 deck. I mean, I don't think this is going to be a huge difference maker playing 3 versus 2 of this card, but it's good that it came off the ban list. Number 75, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. This should never have been on the ban list. The card that should have been on the ban list was Rongo Bongo. That's the card that should have been on the ban list. That's the card that actually was essentially an FTK. This card just is kind of like a monster negate. It's a decent card, so glad to have it back because it's cool if you play a rank 3 deck. It's actually kind of decent. And then Adamantipator Analyzer. Adamantipator's are another deck that really fell off. Block Dragon got hit, and the deck has just been essentially dead. Nobody plays it, and it's nice to have Analyzer back to 3. I don't know why of all of them they hit Analyzer. Analyzer is the one that you can special summon when your opponent controls monsters and you don't. It's like Cyber Dragon. Why this was the one that got hit in the first place, I don't know. The best one is Researcher, the girl, the level 2 girl. She's the best one. Why did they hit this one? I'm just in. I never even understood why they hit this one. But yeah, this deck should this I think was semi-limited. I don't even know why it was semi-limited. So putting it to 3, totally reasonable. Should be back. Should have never been hit to 2 in the first place. But glad to see it back, I guess. But that is the ban list. Honestly, this one is probably one of the not so good ban lists that they've had so far because they essentially hit a bunch of decks. This is a good hit. Number 89 was a good hit, but the others have been like, they're like hitting decks that were good a month ago. And are not even good anymore. Like they're hitting essentially like B tier decks, which is just such a strange thing. And the cards coming back is always nice to see. But yeah, this is the ban list. La, 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 la.